Joining us this morning is founder and executive director of Mothers Against Media Addiction, Julie Scelfo, who has been fighting to safeguard children from the dangers of too much screen time. So good to see you again, Julie. Thanks for being here.
Nice to see you. Good morning.
So are you at all surprised, I guess, to see how much time children are spending on every hour on those devices?
I'm not even a little surprised. These products were designed to be addictive. And we know from internal documents at Meta that some of the people who work there have even shared messages with one another like, oh my gosh, we are drug pushers. It's, if you design something to be addictive, we know how the brain works. And just like gambling, tobacco, other addictive products, it's inevitable that someone exposed to them is going to be addicted, especially when we're talking about young people whose brains are still developing.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not even just about playing games like Roblox and those types of things. This is the way a lot of kids are communicating. They send messages to each other on their phone. So on average, according to your data, how many messages do kids get daily on their devices?
I don't even know if it's possible to count the number of messages that children get, but we know that a study a couple years ago found that the median number of notifications the teenagers received in a day was 237, wow, with some folks getting over 4,000 notifications during a day. So you have to realize each one of these is a small interruption, and part of childhood and learning is a process in your brain called memory consolidation. You need time after you read something to process the information and remember it. You need to write something over and over and over again for your brain to absorb and learn that. And you need to have healthy in real life experiences so that your brain adapts and gets used to that. Constant notifications mean a disturbing to a normal healthy growth process. And that's why we're seeing so many kids with mental health problems.
The data is showing that students are actually using those school-issued laptops, right, to message their friends and watch non-academic videos during those school hours. And a lot of schools are giving out these devices. So is there a way, I guess, to get a handle on that and restrict it and put those restrictions in place?
At Mothers Against Media Addiction, we have strongly supported bell-to-bell phone bans so that the phones are not interrupting students during the day. And now our members are very eager for school officials to start dialing back the volume of technology that they are insisting kids use. Unfortunately, schools rely on third parties to tell them that the laptops are safe, but we all see our kids are texting us in the middle of the day, they're online shopping, and now that online gambling is around, kids are being sent ads encouraging them to online gamble, and we now have a teen gambling problem.
On their school devices?
These are school devices sometimes, and I think school officials, rely on third parties to tell them the machines are locked down, but they're easily circumvented. And that's why, again, we're seeing not only a national emergency in youth mental health, but a decline in reading and math scores and reading at the lowest levels we've seen since we started measuring.
Yeah, kids are very clever. They can find their way around those walls, right, those firewalls. Now, let's talk about the work that you've been doing. You played a very pivotal role in the landmark legislation, which passed in New York last year, requiring social media platforms to display those warning labels for anyone 18 and under. So the case in California against Meta and YouTube could have a similar outcome, but federal legislation, it's still pending. So what's it going to take to get those bills passed?
Lawmakers in Washington have just been way too slow to act. And we know from studies that the tech lobby has one lobbyist in Washington for every 2 lawmakers. And Meta alone has a lobbyist for every 6 lawmakers. So it's going to take parents joining together. Join us at MAMA. We are wearemama.org online. And we need to make sure our voices are heard. So folks in Washington, get off their behindies and get something passed already. In the meantime, thankfully, state lawmakers all over the country are rising up and saying enough is enough. We have to make sure that kids are safe.
Julie, thank you so much for being here. I know it's a tough kind of slippery slope because these kids are quicker than us sometimes. But thank you.
They are, but we've always regulated technology and media since the 1930s in radio, and there's no reason we shouldn't be doing it now.
Yeah, gotcha.
All right, thank you again for your time this morning.